Oh, hey, how you guys doing today? Sorry. I just come in. I figured I'd actually do a video. I've had a lot of interest on some of the state laws that Connecticut does hold on firearms. Well, I figured I would turn on the camera, tell some of you guys about some of the long gun laws. Well, some of these laws, they don't really need to be put into effect, but they are. So, I have 5 weapons in front of me, or on the side of me, you know, what have you. Well, these laws, some of them, I'm sure you guys will actually agree with me, are retarded. I know there's states that either have worse laws than here, or either worse or more strict, you know, what have you. Well, the first weapon I'm going to be pulling up is, well, let's get right down to it. We should all know what this is. Well, this is an AR-15. This is actually one of mine. You know, I've had a lot of fun with this thing. Well, this follows all of the laws that Connecticut put into place about new weapons. Now, what you're going to notice is that I have a muzzle brake on here and not a flash suppressor. And I will get more into that with the next weapon I put up. I'm going to put up a good and then a better. Okay? With Connecticut's state laws, anytime you buy a new firearm, the muzzle brake has to be considered permanent, so therefore it has to be pinned and welded. And if you look right here, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, it is pinned. It is considered actually permanent. Now, collapsible stock, or so we noticed, right? Nope. That's a big no-no too. Any new firearm, any firearm produced after 2004, or actually 1994, I'm sorry, of September, has to follow these laws, at least in the state of Connecticut. And we'll get a little bit more into the details because there's still a lot more to know about them. Well, as well as that, the bayonet lugs have to be removed, ground down, what have you, made so that this way they cannot be usable. Kind of stupid, I know. Like, I've seen online where they have an attachment where you can run a Glock 19, I think it is. Either Glock 19 or Glock 17 on your AR-15 or any other rifle with a Picatinny rail setup on the bottom. Can't do that. At least here. Well, you can. But that's the next weapon. Now this is a little bit different too. I just found this out about 2 weeks ago from talking to somebody that now that they have that slide fire stock, the slide fire stock you can actually put on a new firearm because it's not considered fully automatic or adjustable, even though we all know what it does. So honestly, if you want one, get one now, because if they pass a new law stating that those have to be put onto a pre-ban or make it considered fully automatic or select fire, well, you have yours already. I was actually at a range and one kid had one. He actually got told not to use it. The sign actually specifically states no fully automatic weapons allowed. and he proceeded to tell him that it wasn't fully automatic. It was one of those slide fire stocks. Still doesn't matter. So, with that being said, well, let's get into the next weapon, shall we? This is another AR-15 rifle. Uh-oh. You guys didn't see that. Actually, no, you did. This is a newer, well, this isn't a newer one, actually. It's actually considered a pre-ban lower. So therefore, I can have the bells and whistles. I can actually have the bayonet lug. That's functional. And just for safety's reasons, I'm taking off the bayonet. I can have a flash suppressor. This is actually a standard birdcage, nothing special. Triangle forearm, 20-inch barrel. It doesn't have a collapsible stock, and it probably won't, honestly, because this is more of a showpiece. And all the weapons I will be showing you today are unloaded. Now, with this type of weapon, because it is considered a pre-ban. Now, there's another law with the pre-ban and post-ban as well. The pre-ban allows you to run short-barreled rifles, flash suppressors, suppressors, silencers, you know, whatever you want to call them. You can run those as well. On a post-ban lower, you cannot run a flash suppressor. You cannot run a silencer. I mean, the laws are a little bit strange. I mean, honestly, at the end of the video, I'll actually tell you about a few other laws, at least in this state. Well, now, with that law, a barrel, the longest barrel that you're allowed to have legally on a pre or post-ban lower is 16 inches. Now, we all know what this is. This is actually the stock flash suppressor off of, you guessed it, my 300 Blackout. But because I'm not running it on a pre-ban lower, I actually had to switch it out to a, you got it, muzzle brake. That's been pinned in place, so it does follow with Connecticut's law. Same thing with the stock. Now, you could with a pre-ban lower, you could basically do anything you want to it besides making it full automatic or select fire. Now, that's also because of the national weapons ban, which basically states that nobody, unless you already had the weapon registered as a fully automatic or select fire, you cannot legally buy a brand new weapon that is select fire or fully automatic, unless you were an officer of the law or somebody in the military. Then it's a different story. Now, next weapon I'm going to be talking about. This is considered a modified weapon, but it was modified well before I bought it. This is an Enfield #1 Mark III. Bolt action, detachable magazine, but because it is manufactured well before the weapons ban got put into place, I can run a flash suppressor if I chose, or silencer, you know, what have you. Well, with the weapons that were produced before September of 1994, you could basically do whatever you want. So, I mean, if it's a bolt action, it doesn't have to really follow that assault weapons ban. So, because they classify as an assault weapon as a long rifle that automatically loads the next round after the trigger is pulled. That's what they classify as an assault weapon. Bull, I know. That's the gist of it. I mean, there's a few other specifics in it as well, but they don't really classify as a new AR-15 as an assault weapon. Why? Yeah. Now, we're going to go into another subject. Now, with rifles, you cannot have, with long rifles, you cannot have a barrel shorter than 16 inches. Yeah, I know. You can run a bull barrel on it. You can run a 16-inch barrel on it. I mean, this is a national law, so yeah. You can run, no barrel can be shorter than 16 inches. And the way that you measure the barrel, and this goes for shotguns as well, and I will pull one of those up because it has its own laws. You cannot have, the way that you measure it is you close the bolt, lock it into place, stick a dowel rod or your cleaning rod down the barrel until it stops. That's when you measure. Now with shotguns, and that will be my next segment, or next piece in a minute. Okay. Sorry, it's a little parched. Shotguns. They do classify them as assault weapons as well. This, on the other hand, they do not classify as an assault weapon because you're physically racking the round out, racking a new round in. As we can see, it is unloaded, or at least racked back. Yes, it is actually unloaded as well. But what you're really going to notice is the pistol grip, collapsible stock. On a semi-automatic shotgun, this would be considered a no-no. It's got an 18.5-inch barrel. Now I know the weapons law states that with a shotgun you cannot have a barrel that goes goes under 18 inches. The reason why it's 18.5 is it gives you that half-inch leeway of the barrel. Kind of stupid, but hey, you know, I don't try to break the laws. Now, the next weapon I'm going to pull up is another military classic, and you know, most of us should know what it is, some of us may not. SKS. This was manufactured before that assault weapons ban. So basically, if I wanted to, I can run, you know, a collapsible stock onto it. If you notice, it still does have that bayonet lug. So, you know, just in case all hell breaks loose, you know, and I run out of ammo, yeah, I could just put that on, stab me a zombie or two, and walk out the door. Well, this does not constitute, this constitutes as an assault weapon, but it doesn't. Yes, it's an ex-military rifle. I believe this one was actually manufactured in 54, I believe it is. It might have been a little bit newer. But with this, I could basically do whatever I want to it besides making it fully automatic or select fire. You know, as it sits right now, that's how it's going to sit. I'm not going to be modifying it at all. I'm not even going to put a flash suppressor. I might not. It all depends. I just got to find one that's actually going to suit it. And me, I'm not a fan of the clamp-ons. Okay. Now, the next weapon, or the next segment I'm going to be talking about, is some of the assault, or some of the bans that the state of Connecticut does hold. Okay. California, I know you're not allowed to own an AK-47 or I think it's an AK-47 unless it is pump action, I think it is. You know, don't quote me on it, but, you know, this is just from what I've read. And that kind of defeats the purpose. Honestly, if I'm going to be picking up a military rifle or a military firearm, I want to try to keep it as correct as possible. Now, Connecticut has a law where you can't even own an AK-47. Wait, what? Yeah. When they put that assault weapons ban into place back in September of 1994, they actually mentioned the AK-47 by name. Now, we have one of the biggest and one of the best manufacturers of firearms in the state of Connecticut. Well, actually, we have two. We have Stag Arms, and we have Colt Manufacturing. Now, Colt Manufacturing, if you wanted to go out and buy a Colt AR-15, no, because it's mentioned by name. So therefore, we can't own a locally made rifle. That would actually cut the price down quite substantially. But yet we can own a Stag, Olympic, you know, R-guns, what have you. There's also a bunch of other rifles that are mentioned into it, and I'll actually put it down in the description box as to what weapons they are referring to. I'll actually put down the laws as well. I'm basically giving you like a gist of what you can and cannot do to the weapons. You know, it's easier if I do it like that versus actually sitting down and going like this. Oh, this is what you can do. Oh, yep, you can't do this, can't do this, can't do this. You can do this, but you can't do that. You know, I basically used visual aids. Now, with the AR-15s, now we all know how long that weapon system has been put into place. Well, now what we're going to do, we're going to talk a little bit about the AR-15 itself. Well, a little bit of details, not too many. With the AR-15, what they constitute as a pre-ban and post-ban is any AR-15 or any lower that was made prior to September of 1994. Now, wait a second, what? Yeah. Basically the way that one works out is we all know that the pre-ban lowers are still out there, but they're not. What you have to realize is that most of the AR-15 lowers, or at least the pre-ban ones, are what's known as grandfathered in. So, now, and the average price of a stripped lower, not even built, just stripped, pre-ban lower is between $650 to $1,000. Honestly, it all varies from store to store. We all have our own store that we like to go to, but you know, when you want something, it's called supply and demand. I demand it, you supply it. Here's my money. But that's what basically constitutes as, you know, a pre-ban and post-ban. I'm sure there's actually a few other laws, but I figured I'd give you the gist of some of the laws that you can, or some of the things that you can and cannot do. I'm actually filming this on Sunday the 15th. So I might have it up today, I might have it up tomorrow. So, you know, it all depends on, you know, how well my internet wants to work. So, anyways, I got a few weapons I'm going to be putting away. I've actually got to get some work done around the house, so I'm going to turn off the camera. You know what? Y'all have yourself a wonderful day. Remember, don't do anything I would do. Always talk to strangers. Do all the things that your mama always told you not to do. No, I'm not even going to say that. No, you guys actually have yourself a nice day. You know, if you're going to do something, by all means, do it the right way. You know, follow your state laws, follow your rules and regulations of your state. That's all I'm going to say. You know, nobody needs to be getting in trouble because they decided to be a complete moron and break the law. If you're caught with a weapon that does not follow the laws, you can actually get yourself in some serious trouble. Prison, weapon taken away, fine, permit revoked. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So you know what? It's not even worth it. So you know what? Just do yourself a favor. Follow the laws of the state that you live in. Read up on your own rules. This only is for Connecticut. This is not for every state. Some states, I know, if you had a post band lower, you can run a collapsible stock. You can actually run a bird cage suppressor. You know, I know at Pennsylvania you're not allowed to deer hunt when anything other than a 12 gauge shotgun with slugs. So it's all in the matter of your laws and regulations. This only is for Connecticut. So anyways, I'm going to turn off the camera. Let me do what I got to do here. You guys have yourself a wonderful day. Alright? I hope this video does suit you well. By all means, if I did forget something, leave it in the comment box below if you're a Connecticut resident and you know about that law. But the weapons that are on the ban list are going to be in the description box, so please do look below. Same thing with the laws as to what you can and cannot do. But again, I say, if I did mess up on something, you know, this is only from what I know. Everybody does make mistakes, so I've asked enough questions where I've been able to get through what I need to. So anyways, y'all have yourself a nice day.